Hi, in this episode of Kitchen Dads, we are going to talk about charcuterie. Now, not the fancy charcuterie you get in a restaurant, because you know, sometimes you get all dressed up and you got no place to go, or you don't want to go out and you don't feel like cooking, so what do? Well, we can take things you have around the house, meats and cheeses and olives and peppers, and we can make a fantastic, what I like to call, board. Sometimes on a Friday night, that's all you need, a nice board with a glass of wine. So stay tuned and I'm going to show you how we can make some great boards.
So my philosophy on boards is to put something on it that you like, put something on it that your guest or your partner would like, and then try something new. When I was making this board, I had a taste for some bruschetta, so we made some bruschetta. And by the way, if you don't have a good recipe for bruschetta, we have a wonderful one on Kitchen Dads. Go check it out. Now, I know it would have been very exciting to watch me put meat and cheese on a board for 10 minutes, so I figured what we could do is, at this point, we could speed things up, and I could talk you through it. So now we're going to start to assemble our board. We're going to load up our bruschetta. After our bruschetta, we're going to move on to some cured meats. And for me, the holy grail of cured meats would be salami, capicola, and prosciutto. Now, don't limit yourself just to those things or the things that you know. If you're not familiar with a lot of different cured meats or you don't know what you want, go to your grocery store, to the deli section, or to a butcher and say, look, I'm putting together a meat and cheese board. What recommendations can you make? I usually like to add something in that's a little spicy, has a little more flavor, like a salami, and then something that's a little more mild flavored, like a prosciutto or a serrano ham. And remember, when you're putting these things on the board, make it appealing. You know, like the salami, you make it easy for people to grab. The other two meats, we're going to go ahead and stack it and make it a little higher. And then now, after we're done with our meats, we're going to move on to some peppers. Now remember, we're trying to find things that are in cans and jars to make this easy. Here we got some great cherry peppers, and then one of my favorites is an essential almost on every board is some roasted red peppers. We're going to move on now to olives, and again, you can get a bunch of different olives at grocery stores. A lot of grocery stores now have olive bars where you can get an assortment, and then put some other things on that you have or that you like that's around the house. We had some sun-dried tomatoes, and there were a few artichokes that were left over. Threw some pickles on there, which were great. And now we move to the cheeses, because that's the other anchor for the board. I usually like to have 2 or 3 different cheeses. I like to have something that has some flavor, a little more mild, and then what I call my stinky cheese. The first cheese here is a pesto Gouda, and it is just fantastic. Flavorful, tastes like summer. Then we move on to our manchego cheese, which is very nice, and then my stinky cheese, which is my Maytag blue cheese. It's a board that's going to serve 4 or 5 people with a glass of wine. You're good to go. Now go make a board.